Good morning, everyone who's around today. It's Monday morning. I've just finished recording my podcast, which I do every morning. Good morning, Laura. So my podcast, which I just recorded, which will be dropping live on Friday, is all about repurposing your Periscope stuff. Good morning, Laura. Lovely to see you on. I'm really excited about this, guys, because if those of you know, I do Blogging Business Bootcamp, and I'm really a passionate advocate of creating content in a really smart, time efficient way. And I'm so excited to be talking about how to repurpose these right here, Periscopes in a way that's super smart for your business. Good morning, Mags. Good morning, Laura. Lovely to have everyone here. And obviously, I've got loads of stuff on this, which will be out in the podcast, and it will also be in the blog on Friday. But let's just have a little taster about how you can repurpose these here Periscopes. Hello in California. Hi, everyone. Super excited to have you. And so, as you know, these things get saved into the camera roll. So straight after I finish talking to you guys, this will go straight to my camera roll. With that, you then have a video. And just think about what you could do with that video. You can have that video sent to be transcribed, and you therefore have the a sort of text version of what you've just said on your broadcast. So you could use that as a blog post. You could use it for social media updates. You could pull things out to go onto images. So you could hop into Canva, you could hop into PicMonkey, you could pull out some stuff that you've said and start repurposing your content as social media images. Let's think about what else you can do with a video. Of course, you can upload it to YouTube. So get some Google juice from your Periscopes by uploading them straight into YouTube. Guide people back to your blog, your site, to your other Periscopes. It's just a way to save what you've already done and help that work smarter and harder for you. Obviously, if you also have a video, which is exactly what a Periscope is, you can then extract the audio from that, guys. And then what you can do with audio? Well, you can upload that to SoundCloud. You could upload a series of different Periscopes into an audio file. You could use it as a podcast. Obviously, the audio is not going to be amazing unless we're using a microphone, but it's a way that you can make this stuff work smarter for you. Does it sound weird on YouTube when you're reading comments? What do you mean, Sylvie? Well, if I'm reading comments here that's not showing up. Yes, exactly. You could also edit the audio effects and upload straight to Facebook. So I've been using a lot of my Periscopes just to go straight into Facebook as a native video. And let me tell you, folks, native videos on Facebook get thousands and thousands of views. And yes, although on YouTube it's not like it's not like you've got the lighting all right, it's all perfect. But if you have it in a Periscope sort of playlist, people get completely used to the fact that this is a Periscope format. So the video is the wrong way around for for YouTube. It's not perfect, guys, but actually this is the nature of Periscope. So if you do upload it to YouTube, it's a way to repurpose it. It's a way for people to see Periscopes that have already gone. So although it's not, it's not a perfect way, but I've been using that because, sort of sometimes people want to re-see a broadcast that I did, sort of last week. And exactly, if you read out some comments before you reply, like I've just done now, then it's okay. So it's a really interesting way to sort of repurpose it. But also don't forget, you can do more stuff from that. So I'm talking to you right here about repurposing on Periscope. I can then send this to be transcribed. I then have a blog post that's pretty much done, guys, and you can jump in, you can edit it. I could use every single one of these questions, answer them on here, and repurpose that as a blog post. So what type of length of post should you consider was a question that just came up here. And it's completely up to you. You can try, you can try whatever works for you. So even if you hop on for 2 to 3 minutes a day, answer some questions, you could, you then have a whole range of stuff which you can sort of collate together like a library of videos, and you can make those work for you if you want. So for example, the fact that we just discussed there whether Periscope is useful on YouTube is a conversation that I can use on the podcast, I can use it on my blog, I can use it on social media. It's something that you could add more value to. So I might want to spin that out some more in a blog post, and I might want to discuss that some more, perhaps on a different Periscope, you know. So Laura's saying use a scope for live and then record a video on the same topic with crowdsourced info. Absolutely, Laura, that's a brilliant idea. So you could use this as like a little discussion. You could even, as I say, you know, sort of pull out some quotes from here, crowdsource on Twitter or Facebook some other sort of discussions, put that in your blog post, and you've got a whole series of stuff that's all interlinked, you know, together. And you can refer people back to the original Periscope if you want to keep that somewhere. I mean, I keep mine on YouTube just for reference, because I want somewhere to keep them. And actually, I think if people would jump onto Periscope and talk to me live, I see no reason why they wouldn't want to sort of catch it on YouTube, you know, later on. Obviously, I'd rather have like a really beautifully done, you know, like a sort of Q&A with proper lighting and all that sort of stuff. So Laura says, but it makes more sense for people who aren't using this platform. It doesn't alienate your audience. I'm just going to ask the question, what is my site? So my site is dexterousdiva.co.uk, and if you hop over there, you'll find that I mentor solopreneurs to work in smarter and more creative ways and to get their message out to the world. So I run a thing called a Blogging for Business Bootcamp, which you'll find on dexterousdiva.co.uk/bootcamp, which is all about how to create content in super smart ways, and I've got loads of amazing people in there doing just that. I also have a free masterclass called the Brilliance Ignition process, which is all about how to ignite your personal brilliance into your business. So using creative thinking, using regular content creation to get some clarity through into your business, and to be original, guys. That's where we need to be. So all this stuff is just food for thought. So, you know, whatever I might say about how to repurpose a Periscope, it's just something that could inspire you to take it further. You might say, right, okay, well, Joe's saying that, but what could I do? Like, what would my audience want to hear? You know, how might they want to respond to me? So as with everything, like I always say this in my bootcamp, a million different experts will tell you a million different things. I'm always hearing, you know, how often should I blog? How long should my blog post be? Like, what should I do? Yes, there are blueprints. There are like best practice guidelines, which you can know, which you can learn. But guys, blow up the blueprint, you know. And exactly, Laura's saying here she gets ongoing inspiration from other people's scopes. Exactly right, Laura. In the same way that we might use Twitter or even dive onto SlideShare for like a research bombing expedition, using other people's scopes exactly like this one is a really good way to be inspired to do your own talks, your own other platform stuff, to take it further. So it's really, thank you so much. Is that Steve? Awesome info here, Steve is saying. And Sylvie, yes, the informality of it I love. So I love the fact that I've just been on here, I've been recording my podcast. I can tell you that you can sort of jump on Friday, hear my take on all this. So, you know, you'll find me on iTunes as well. Work Smarter, Dream Bigger, Live Brighter is the name of my podcast. If you search for Joe Gifford, Dex Diva, you'll find me on iTunes. You'll also find me on the blog as well. I've got dexterousdiva.co.uk/podcast. And exactly, Laura, like Laura's saying, that's what makes your unique value irresistible on Periscope. This is brand Joe. Like, you know, you're talking to me in my home office, like live after doing my podcast. So my podcast, you know, it's more produced. It has me with the headphones and the microphone. Like, I've just done all that. I've answered questions on there. It then goes to be transcribed, and my team then work it up, and we do the image, and it all gets scheduled. Steve says, do I sing as well? Steve, would you like me to sing? I don't sing, I'm not. Were you here for one of my Periscopes when I did a really bad singing thing? And exactly right. Sylvie's saying you get a deeper connection with your peeps this way. I've really found that I've gained like, a lot more people just by jumping onto Periscope for 5 minutes. And the fact that I can jump on here, I can answer some cues, we can have a discussion. I know that you guys can spin it out. You can refer back to me and say, well, I was talking to Joe the other day on Periscope and this is what we were talking about. Here's my take on it. I can refer back to you guys. And have you got a treadmill desk? Sylvie's saying, I just did one showing my treadmill desk. Do you know what? One day, Sylvie, I want to have a treadmill desk. That's what I aspire to. Steve says, I'm sure you can sing my own jingle. You can sing your own jingle, Steve. I want to hear that. I think I can sing usually when I'm drunk, I have to say. Exactly. So Laura's saying I'm developing deeper relationships with people who then become clients, and that's so important, Laura. You're so right. I think that people can read you online, they can read your, your blogs, they can read your social media stuff, but if people can hear you and see you, like, this is actually Jo Gifford, this is who I am, this is how I talk. And, as Laura's saying, people that can then become clients because they can kind of have an insight into actually who you are and how your brain works. And I love to use different formats. So I find that some people connect with my podcast more because they love to kind of hear my voice, the inflections, how I talk, how my brain works. Some people love to kind of have a hangout or YouTube version of me or some screencasts because you can again hear. But a Periscope is pretty much, it's live, it's off the bat. And, and so Laura's saying she hardly ever talks about what she does. And that's so right, Laura. Like, we love to hear you as solopreneurs. We are the brand, right? We are the brand of our business. And it's really important to allow people to connect with us and to kind of see what we're up to and what we're doing. And so, today... exactly. So Laura say, but being interesting and valuable on a wider basis encourages people to go and find out more. Really excited. And, as Sylvie's saying, getting to know the person before doing business is really great. So, for example, if I tell you that behind the scenes today, I've just recorded my podcast. So that is done. What happens now, that goes off to my team. It gets transcribed. We do the blog post. We do the images. We put out the tweetables. All that stuff happens to it. And after that, I've got a house load of 6-year-olds, people, because my twins are 6 years old today. So if I can just have a little woo, my lovely little dudes are 6 years old, and that is part of my life as well. I'm a working mum, and I run my global empire around 6-year-old birthday parties because that is super important to me. Like, I want to be, having jelly and ice cream. Thank you very much, Sylvie. I'm such a happy mummy. Like, I've got 2 awesome, sort of little people. Laura says it's a polka fest in here today. Are you wearing polka dots, dude? I've got like a splodgy kind of polka dot thing going on. Yes, thank you so much, Mel. It's my lovely twin's birthday. And, this is just a reminder of why we do this stuff. Like, I know a lot of you are probably parents as well, or we have a lifestyle that we are self-employed and we work around because, those girls are my whys, as is my desire to, be flexible, to work in a way that suits me, to see the world. And as I was just saying, in fact, on the podcast, which you'll hear on Friday, part of the reason why Periscope really works for me is because I can jump on and talk to you guys. Laura's saying she is all polka dotty in her avatar. Mel, exactly. Working to be flexible for a future the sort of lifestyle is a really great thing. And as I was saying, on my podcast today, the fact that I can jump on any time of day and speak to you guys is such an honour. And for me, as most of you know, I have several different chronic health things. I have ME, I have chronic fatigue, I have fibromyalgia. These things can knock me out massively. Usually by the afternoon, I have to take some massive time out and I have to really manage my energy. Sometimes I'm out for days, and a lot of people don't believe that because if you kind of see me here, I'm really lovely, I'm talking, this is who I am. But if I have something scheduled, it's really hard for me to know 100% if I can be there. Okay, so by being able to talk one to many in this way, to jump on live when I'm able to repurpose this content if I wanted to be able to spin out some discussions from here, works for my lifestyle, for my for my business in so many ways. And it's really exciting to see where this platform will be going. And as early adopters, everyone who's here listening and watching and taking part and doing your own periscopes, you're there at the early curve, you're the early adopters. You'll be like learning to use this and to use it in really exciting ways. Spontaneity, Sylvie says, is absolutely right. We can just jump on at any part of the day which is kind of suitable. SP, I'm kind of wondering what, Sylvie, you mean by that. I've got SP question mark. Can you just expand on that a little bit, Sylvie? Did I misread your spontaneity? I'm not sure. Anyway, guys, I'm super happy to have you here today. It's Monday morning, UK time, so I know lots of my lovely sort of US peeps will be watching this later on. You spelt it. Oh, I saw you spelling. Yes, no, Sylvie, you'd absolutely spelled spontaneity right, I think. But either way, it's gone now, isn't it? So we can't see it. And I was talking too much anyway. Yes, of course, SP equals spelling. Sorry, I haven't got my my kind of sort of markup embroidered on today. So I'm wishing you all a really fabulous Monday. If you have reactions to this, I would love to hear your thoughts on repurposing periscopes. Thank you so much, Nicola. It's awesome to have you here. Don't forget to check out the podcast on Friday when it hits, dexterativo.co.uk/podcast, and you can also subscribe to me on iTunes. I also love to hear from you in voicemail, so you can jump onto my site, and on the right hand side it says send me a voicemail, because I love to hear feedback on any of this stuff. I'll feature you on my podcast as well if you drop me a voicemail with a shout out to your site and any thoughts about this stuff. Thank you so much, Mags. It's lovely to see you here, always is. So guys, really excited to have a brilliant day today, and think of me later on when I'm, surrounded by a house full of small people who've had too much sugar. Okay, loads of love. See you later.